So I'm going to get there in a moment, but I get this. It's a very clear story. Your reading's very clear. And it's, you know, the same necessity. I said it for Libra as well, I think. Necessity is the mother of invention. So there's a need here. There's a lack for something. You're very aware of it. Maybe it was your season that showed you that. But let's start with the Five of Pentacles. You see these people, you know, they're struggling. This could be a rejection. This could be lack of support. It's the lack card. It's financial poverty, emotional poverty. We don't feel like we've got enough. We don't feel like that. I mean, usually the Five of Pentacles does say that help is available to us. And in fact, when you're in this situation, I used to get this card a lot actually when I was very ill. And it was that card of it. Not only does it show you that, you know, help is available, but sometimes there's strings attached to that help. So I get that. Maybe that's why they're not going in. They don't believe in that religion, or, you know, and that they're going to be told that you have to kind of believe in this religion if you want to get help from us. So there could be that. But it will also show you who is there for you and who isn't. Who is there for you and who isn't. The Five of Pentacles, it really did that for me. So that's one of the messages around the Five of Pentacles. Fives are the agents of chaos. And they feel very intense when they're happening. So I want to reassure you, if you're coming into this with, you know, no one really supports me, or I'm not making the money that I need to go ahead and do whatever's the plan that's coming in here, that it won't always be that way. You know that I do energetic messages with the cards, but I'm going to give you a mundane, which is a specific message, which I try to... Those are for personal readings, but if it comes through in an energetic general read, I will give it to you. And this is the one that comes through here. So somebody needs to hear this. Is, I get it. Right now, you are you're working hard to make ends meet. You're juggling a lot. It doesn't have to just be in work. It may be that there's a lot of effort going into this, right? To try to make a relationship work. Like you guys are struggling right now in whatever sense. And that relationship can be romantic, family, friends, whatever. But there's a lot of this juggling going on, trying to figure out, well, is this right? You know, how do we make this work? How do we stop the struggle? So this could, at the mundane level, be someone who's working 2 jobs to make ends meet. But this is bigger than that. This is not a mundane read. This is about, I feel like there's the lack of support or finances. You know, Pentacles is that it's our physical bodies, it's our possessions, it's our homes, our investments, our savings, anything we can see, feel, and touch. That we can see, feel, and touch. And it looks like there's something big coming through with the Sun and the Nine of Cups. That's amazing energy, right? And you may not feel that just yet. Or it's almost like a carrot on a stick, like it's in front of you. But you don't feel like physically you're in the place to be able to go for this just yet. The thing with the Two of Pentacles is, this is sometimes, you know, this is only looking at what's available to us. And if you only deal with what's available to you right now, especially with that Five of Pentacles coming up with it, you're not going to, you won't be open to anything new, right? If, look at her. She's like, well, I've only got these 2 pentacles. I'm going to have to make them do. But she's not actually progressing. She's stood in one place. She's focused on what she's juggling here. And so there's that energy of, well, that's all I have right now. That might be all you have right now. Actually, I'm going to get you one. You guys did wait. You were long. So kind of, I don't use the word boring, but it is that kind of, it's monotonous. It's mundane. It's the same thing again and again. And you might be someone's living paycheck to paycheck, or where's the fun gone in this relationship? All I ever do, you know, it's just hard work. It's just hard work. Now, it's general, so it can go both ways, but I want to say this to you, and this another thing comes up, so much coming through around this, is there are some people that they don't believe their relationship is working unless there's work to do on it, right? So that when it's just like peaceful, everything's like trotting along, it's almost that sense of, I need some drama. I need some drama. Everything's too boring. So if we do have something dramatic here, we have an argument, you know, that kind of the peaks and the troughs of a relationship. It doesn't have to just be a relationship, but there's some change needed. This situation can't, and you know that. You know that. Now, the other thing around this is, forget everything else. It's Sagittarius season. It's boring. It's mundane. It's monotonous. It's repetitive. It's like, I don't want to keep doing the same shit and get nothing for it. I'm still struggling out in the cold. Fear not, my lovelies, there's a path coming in. And I kind of feel like because you saw the potential for happiness in something, that is what's caused this. That is what's made you realize, that things don't have to be this way. There can be brighter things. There can be things that make me really happy, my wishes and stuff. And with the Page of Wands coming up as a clarifier for that, the Page of Wands is the least serious court card out of all of the court cards. Doesn't think long term. Neither does the Fool, really. Doesn't think long term. Now, that's going to be a shocker to you. So if I said to you, oh my God, when's the last time you had some fun? You would look at me and say, Jade, what the hell? Do you see me struggling around in the snow here? Do you see me juggling all this stuff here? What do you mean fun? I don't have time for fun. That's exactly when you need some fun. That's exactly when we need to take the pressure off, take our foot off the pedal a little bit, even if it's for 10 minutes, whatever it is that you can do. Because this is the card of inspiration. This is the card of the muse. This is creative energy. This is excitement. This is playful energy. Where have the flirty text messages gone? Where have they just hanging out and having a laugh together? Where's that gone? Where's the enjoyment of, oh my God, this project, I'm going to get to do it. Where's that gone? Everything just feels like a struggle with this energy. You have another page coming up though. So I love the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, it's about being brutally honest with ourselves, with other people. But how do we be brutally honest? It's finding out the context of that truth. Page of Swords is seen as, I've heard one of my favorite readers call the Page of Swords a little shit. And that's Moonlight Scorpio. She says it. I love it. And the Page of Swords can be a little shit. I'm just going to say that. But that's because we don't have all the information. We don't have all the information around the Page of Swords. And that's big for you because it's coming up at the heart of your reading. Everything revolves around this. This might be the energy that we're coming in with. And both of these are energies that we come in with. That is what our focus is on, what we're dealing with, what we want to get out of this. Then this is where we are, present-based energies, the advice in the present, where we are in the present, that leads to the future. And the future here, let's talk about that because the Page of Swords is sat above the Nine of Swords. This is stress in what's going to happen. Will this happen? Will they say that? Will I lose my job? Will I get more money? Will I be able to pay my bills? It's future-based. It's future-based. And when the Nine of Swords specifically comes up as in a future position, it is all we can see in the future is more stress and anxiety. Doesn't mean we're going to be stressed and anxious and sleepless nights and worried and stuff. It means that's all we can see from the present place. From where we are right now, we look ahead and all we can see is, oh God, is there going to just be more worry and stuff? I'm not going to know what to do. That's where our Page of Swords comes in. Because the Page of Swords here is saying, okay, so we have a nugget of truth. We know something. But we need to expand on this and get context. And I'll tell you the story that I always tell of the Page of Swords. How I came to, because I meditate on the cards sometimes and really try to absorb the energies. And this was a scenario that came in around the Page of Swords, which explains its energy. So imagine my friend, who's the Page of Swords, comes up to me and says, Jay, I saw your husband standing outside this motel with that, secretary of his. Now, that's the Page of Swords. That is the truth. That is the truth. She did see my husband with his secretary standing outside a motel. But what's the context there? How do I know what they were doing there? I can jump to a conclusion. I can stress out. Is he cheating on me? Is he going to leave me? Is he going to do whatever? All we ever do is work and stuff. What the hell's going on here? So that's to get more information. That's the spy, right? That goes and gets more information. Now, and that's how we use the energies. Think about that. So as the Page of Swords, I could be brutally honest with myself and say, look, you don't know here, Jay. You're getting kind of insecure now. You need to find out some more information. The lowest vibration of the Page of Swords is someone who's going to start trawling through their phone, hacking into their Facebook account or whatever to try to get more information to see who that is. That's the lowest vibration of the Page of Swords. Highest vibration of the Page of Swords is going to go up to that person and say, hey, were you outside so-and-so with your secretary the other day? And that's where you may find out, if you go that route, literally find out, and where he could say, yeah, you know what? All we ever do is work and do these jobs. We never see each other. There's no fun in our lives. I told my secretary to go and check out a motel that was up for sale, that we could buy it and run it as a family. Totally different story. Now, with that Page of Swords can also be a little shit. So I know I'm giving you a lot of a tarot lesson here, but it's important to understand. I see too many people just writing off shit at it. And that's a disservice to the cards, and it's a disservice to you. So the other thing is that friend who came and told me, the little Page of Swords who came and gave me that information, may have been doing it to break up me and my husband. Maybe she has a crush on me. Maybe she has a crush on my husband. You don't know, right? So that's why it's always on us to direct. With swords energy, it's always best to be direct and go and get the information that we need. So December is about getting the information that you need. Now that's one example of that energy. For others of you, it may be that there's something that you've seen with the sun coming up here, a potential for happiness. And maybe it's this situation that when you first got into it, it looked all bright and happy and oh my God, but now it's you don't have the money for it, or you don't have the energy for it, and there's so much going into it, and you thought it would be fun and playful, right? We see that little kid there in the sun, but it isn't like that anymore. It's always the nugget of the truth. Remember that with the Page of Swords, but it lacks context. And also based that, with the sevens, we always ask ourselves, is it worth it? So the Seven of Swords is it worth the risk? Is it worth, does it need more planning? Is it worth revealing this from out of the shadows? Is it worth showing my hand right now? It's not always a bad card. It is sometimes seen as the liar, cheater, deception card, of course. And those of you that are running on that end of the spectrum, then yeah, this is going to be very much that energy of, this is not the full truth. But for others of you, it's going to be, if you're on the other end of the spectrum, and you might be somewhere in the middle, right? Where it's like, get the information that you need, do the research. Instead of calling the Page of Swords the spy or the stalker, what's the Page of Swords? The Page of Swords can be the researcher who goes and gets more information. But with that Seven of Swords coming up with that, that's the only way you'll know. If you try to make a decision based on just that little, it won't be enough for you to decide. Of course, it's going to look risky. You've got two cards here that talk about risks, the Fool and the Seven of Swords. If you're trying to go and get more information to say, is this guaranteed a sure thing? I don't know if you'll get that. But that's also not the point. The Fool says that. That's not the point of this. And that's hard. I know that's hard. Because of this energy here. Because there's so much on you already. And you've got this spark. And I mean, this is amazing. If this is a new idea that you have and you're inspired to do something new, that's beautiful that you met out of this. That's why I kind of got that necessity is the mother of invention. I kind of get that out of it. Wouldn't it be great if this happens? So there's some spark, but it's like you're not sure of yourself, or you're not sure how to take it out there, or what the information is. That's going to be key here. But any information that you get is always going to be, well, what's now? What's promised to me right now? What do I need to know right now? Because think about it. What are the guarantees? What guarantees do we have? What guarantees do we have? This could be you're afraid of someone stealing your intellectual property rights to something. So you don't know if you want to show it yet. Do I need to go and get it copyrighted? Or do I talk about this yet? Do I need to go and get it secured in some way? Because I don't want someone to steal from me. I don't, there's a lot of ways that this can come out. But at its core, this situation, whatever it's about, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Please trust me on that. We have the sun coming up here. Like I said, this is the potential for great happiness. And when the sun comes out, everything's clear to us. So you have some really beautiful energy here. The sun, the Page of Wands, the Nine of Cups, where this could make me happy. This could make me really happy. This really appeals to my heart energy. And I'd love to go and do this. But I don't think you were planning on it being that difficult, or that you'd need to know so much. And the sun urges us, it's creative energy, it can be new beginnings, and it urges us to look at where the potential for happiness is and to go in that direction. Because whatever we focus on, because we're the suns, right, in the solar system of our lives, whatever we focus on, it expands, it grows. Whatever we give our attention to, whatever we feed energy to, with the sun coming up there. But that's big, and that's over the whole of our lives. So that's not in the shadows. And whenever I see the sun and the Seven of Swords coming up together, the truth always comes out. But there is more to this truth than you realize. There's more to this truth. And that can be remedied by a conversation with that Page of Swords there. The Page of Swords lacks tact and caution though. You know, have you ever spoken to someone where they don't actually mean anything bad? They're coming from a really lovely, especially if it's in text. I'm kind of getting text messages here for some reason. But, you know, and when we write in text, like 80%, is it something like 80% of the emotional intention behind it goes. And so people can come across as, you know, aggressive or defensive or being mean, and they're not. But it just lacks context. There's a lot of clearing up, and you may have already been doing that. You may have already been doing that. This is what we kind of know what's going on. So let's go forward. What happens in the present? We have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is urging you. What's your heart's desire? What is your heart's desire? Not what you need to be doing, not what you should be doing, not all the shit that somehow Scorpio is left juggling and trying to figure out with that Two of Pentacles. That's also weighing up the pros and cons, right? But the Two of Pentacles look exactly the same in that Two of Pentacles. So how are you going to make that decision? There must be some more information that comes in. And so I would say, first of all, with the Nine of Cups coming up, please figure out for yourself if it even matters to you. Does it matter to you? For a lot of you, the answer is going to be yes, Jay, it matters to me. This is what my heart desires. This is what I want. That's the Nine of Cups, our heart's desire. It's the wish card, right? This is what we wish for. But it's difficult, right? Because I get it. And a lot of this it's stemming from this current situation, that Two of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Because it's like, this is what I wish for, Jay. But because of all this shit that's going on, I can only see more stress and anxiety and worry coming in. I don't know where it will go. Is it enough that I want this? Because I can't really figure out a way to make it happen. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. My throat's totally going now. Excuse me. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Truly honored that you would do so. Whatever you get up to in December, please trust that you will get what you need, even if it doesn't look like what you want. Trust on that. Be open to messages, signs, synchronicities, however they come through, and you will know. Trust yourself to know. I will see you next time, my lovelies, but that's all for now. Goodbye.